Do all your other publications have the same kind of statement that you put in this one? Danny Rowling is not profit from books. Similar statements in other
I
publications?
don't think that Knockin' on Joe has one.
You put that in there to help marketability, didn't you?
No.
You put it in there because of the statute that's at issue in this case, didn't you?
No.
You just thought of it off the top?
No,
No good
I
idea
thought a
to
lot
put
of
it in the
people
book?
would be concerned and interested in that. And they should know. If, if that is a concern, if they want to buy the book or read the book and they were concerned about that, I felt that I could disclose that right up front. Lay that matter to rest.
And in fact, the agreement calls for you and him to write the book, and for you to get the money, and for him to get the notoriety and publicity. Isn't that true?
It calls for me to get money.
And it calls for him to get the notoriety and publicity. Isn't that
There's
true?
nothing of that nature in my agreement.
You say, is it your testimony that Danny Rowling gets no notoriety or publicity as a result of that book?
No, sir. It's my testimony that that is not a part of our agreement.
Is it a part of the reason why the book was written?
You have to ask Mr. Rowling.
I'm asking you whether that's the reason why the book was written.
I'm sure Danny has his reasons for
What are
wanting it
yours?
written. I have my reasons for wanting it written.
You wrote it for the money?
No.
You wrote it to explain to the world why Danny Rowling is a serial killer?
Yes.
Can you point to any criminologist, sociologist, psychologist, or psychiatrist who you interviewed in this book?
Yes.
Who is the psychiatrist, psychologist, sociologist, or criminologist who you interviewed?
Excuse me, perhaps I misstated myself. I have quoted the psychiatrists who testify in court. I quoted from their testimony. Okay, I did not interview them and quote from my interview. I quoted from their testimony in court.
Before you wrote the book with Danny Rowling, did you consult with any psychiatrist, psychologist, or any person noted as an expert in dealing with serial killers?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Who did you consult with in writing this book?
Well, in studying serial killers, I've been very fortunate in have mentoring by some of the most prominent criminologists in the world, including the gentlemen who were involved in starting a behavioral science unit for the FBI, including Robert Russell, who coined the phrase serial killer, Warren Hazelwood, who was very prominent in being the FBI's main expert in known serial murder, serial rape, which also began to Danny Rowling, including Colin Wilson, who is a worldwide renowned criminologist and was kind enough to write the introduction, including Stephen Edgar, who has written a book about serial murder, including Joey Norris, who's written a book about serial murder, including Ron Holmes, who's written a number of books about serial murder. Shall I go on?
Well, for all of these people who you're mentioning, are there findings and reports and studies in Chapter 1 in this book?
No.
Chapter 2?
No.
Chapter 2?
Not the nature of the book, Mr. Ross.
And my question is, you mentioned that you consulted with a whole host of experts.
Correct.
I'm asking you where in here are those reports, studies, writings, analyses, on and on. And I'm
Not
asking
in
you in Chapter 1.
They're not in here.
There's nothing in that book which tells the public why Danny Rowling killed those 5 students.
I beg your pardon. What the whole book is about. And Danny Rowling tells in his own words why he did it.
You're not suggesting that everyone who has a troubled childhood turns out to be a serial killer, are you?
No.
this is Danny Rowland telling what he did. This is Danny Rowland's story.
Yes?
It's not the story of why serial killers do what they do.
That's a separate book.
That's not this one.
That's correct.
And that separate book you are now working on, correct?
I'm working on a book of that nature.
With all of these psychologists, psychiatrists, criminologists, doing review and studying serial killers, correct?